Hello Spider fans, welcome back to my channel, and I've got some electrifying news for you today. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is just around the corner, launching in less than a month from now. In this video, we are diving deep into everything you need to know about this highly anticipated game. So web sling your way through this video as we unravel all the exciting details. First things first, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is set to introduce a groundbreaking gaming experience. With not one but two protagonists, you can seemingly switch between Peter Parker and Miles Morales at any time during your adventure. These two heroes will embark on character-specific missions while also sharing some epic showdowns. Plus, you will explore new locations like Brooklyn, Queens, and the East River, adding an exciting twist to your web-slinging journey. The game map is approximately double the size of its predecessors, promising even more incredible adventures. For performance enthusiasts, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 offers a performance mode that guarantees a silky smooth 60 frames per second experience. But that's not all. The game utilizes temporal techniques to provide a 4K picture from a lower resolution base and boasts stunning HDR visions. You will also have the freedom to adjust motion blur and other visual settings to tailor your gaming experience. Accessibility features have been expanded, allowing players to slow down combat by 30%. Now let's talk about the fantastic cast bringing this game to life. We've got some familiar voices returning, including Yorilo Wantol as Peter Parker and Najeta as Miles Morales. Jim Perry joins the lineup as Kraven, Laura Bailey as Mary Jane, Graham Phillips as Harry Osborn, and the iconic Tony Todd as Venom. Insomnia Games, the brilliant minds behind this masterpiece, are setting high expectations. According to PlayStation Studios' director of sound design, he says that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is stunning and their best work yet. The excitement is real. Now for an interesting tidbit, the developers at Insomnia Games have already begun work on the highly anticipated Wolverine PS5 development. They are really on a roll. Diving deeper into Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the world is approximately twice the size of previous entries. You can instantly switch between Miles and Peter and their 65 outfits with 200 variations to keep your Spidey style on point. The addition of AR view markers and points of interest adds a new layer of immersion. You will also find side quests that take you up against classic villains, leading to epic showdowns. Web wings and a new fast travel system promise smoother traversal. Performance lovers, get ready for a treat. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will feature 4K at 60 frames per second with ray tracing mode. It will support multiple performance modes including 30, 40, and 60 frames per second. Ray tracing is enabled by default and you will enjoy 120 Hz variable refresh rate support, destructible environments, and even more DualSense features. The gameplay is getting a major overhaul with more side missions, the option to toggle fall damage, and the exciting ability to use black suit abilities with any outfit. Speaking of the black suit, it's hypersensitive to sound, plus spider arms will be a default part of Peter's abilities, and the game aims for higher enemy density to encourage more ability utilization. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 promises a more detailed and nuanced story with darker tones and a healthy dose of humor. The game picks up 9 to 10 months after the events of Miles Morales, delving into an emotional storyline with the balance of light and dark moments. J. Jonah Jameson returns to his role as the head of the Daily Bugle, adding another layer of depth to the narrative. Before we swing into the conclusion, let's cover a few more essential details about Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Peter Parker's symbiote addiction hints that Harry might become Venom. The ability to use wingsuits for faster map transversal thanks to the PS5 SSD, and the presence of Kraven the Hunter as a catalyst villain, with multiple other villains set to appear. Preloads for the full game starts on October 13th to those who pre-ordered. To fully enjoy this epic adventure, make sure you have enough space on your PS5 because it requires a whopping 98GB of disk space to install. Here's an exciting feature for you true Spidey fans out there. In Marvel Spider-Man 2, while you're navigating the open world, you might just run into the other Spider-Man, whether it's Miles Morales or Peter Parker, which depends on who you're playing as, engaged in various activities and fighting crime. It's like a mini crossover within the game. In the previous game, many buildings had windows that appeared empty or static, lacking any activity or life inside. However, in Spider-Man 2, this has been addressed. Players will now see people inside the buildings, which adds depth to the cityscape and makes it feel more vibrant and lived in. NPCs can now enter and exit buildings just like real people would in a bustling city. It means you see characters walking into stores, offices, or residential buildings, contributing to a more dynamic and realistic urban environment. The inclusion of authentic suspension systems in cars means that when you see characters driving around the city, they won't just move on a flat plane. Instead, they will realistically bounce up and down as they navigate the uneven terrain of the city streets. This adds another layer of realism to the game's physics and graphics. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is set to feature a larger number of on-screen NPCs, meaning that there would be more characters populating the game world at any given time. This contributes to a livelier and more immersive city atmosphere, making the in-game New York City feel like a bustling metropolis. The higher body type variety among NPCs means that you will encounter characters with different body types and sizes. This diversity adds realism to the game's world, reflecting the variety of people you might encounter in a real city. Now, speaking of game length, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is estimated to take about the same time as the first game to finish. For those of you who like to complete every side quest and collect every collectible, the first game took around 35 to 40 hours for 100% completion on average, while the main story alone took about 17 to 20 hours to complete. Lastly, for our younger viewers and parents out there, it's essential to know that Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been rated T14 due to some in-game content. This includes depictions of violence and blood, including instances like a player being choked to death, a dead body turning over, and blood drops on leaves. Characters can also be seen trading unnamed drugs for weapons, with drug packages in car trucks. Combat mostly involves punching, kicking, and throwing, with central characters using special symbiote-based and electricity-based attacks on enemies. Some foes use pistols and machine guns, and gunshots may occasionally result in small splashes of blood. And that wraps up our comprehensive updates on Marvel Spider-Man 2. The countdown to its release, which is less than a month from now, has officially begun. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a whole lot, and guess what? It's free. Will this game live up to the massive hype and claim the title of the ultimate Spidey adventure? Will it be the game of the year? I would like to know your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to find out. Until then, resist the darkness, and we'll see you in the next video.